Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I can have everyone that is in the back or standing, if you'd like to come up to the front to have a seat, there's plenty of seats available as we prepare for the State of the City address. Prior to beginning, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Calexico Chamber of Commerce and their Executive Director, Hildy Carrillo, for hosting this event, and also thank their President of the Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Robert Rubio. As we gather tonight for the 2010-2011 State of the City address by the Mayor, John Moreno, it gives me great pleasure to welcome those that have come to listen to the State of the City address, but also those that have traveled from afar, particularly from our state capital in Sacramento, the 80th Assembly District Representative, Mr. Manuel Perez, representing the County of Imperial, District 1, our Supervisor, Mr. John Renison, representing the IID, the Imperial Irrigation District, our District Director, John Pierre Menville. Please allow me to introduce our Calexico City Council. Mayor Pro Tem Luis Castro, Council Member Daniel Romero, Council Member Maritza Hurtado Barron, and Council Member Bill Hodge. I'd also like to thank city staff and department heads that made this event possible and made this location available for this civic event. I'll be introducing our mayor, John Moreno. Let me tell you something about John Moreno. Born in 1960 to Frank and Virginia Bebita Moreno, a graduate of Calexico High School in 1978. He served as an educator here in the Calexico Unified School District for 22 years. He's been an administrator in the Calexico Unified School District for 12 years. Appointed to the Planning Commission in 1996, he served for 10 years till 2006, and he was chairman of the Planning Commission twice. He's known as the voice of the Calexico Bulldogs on the Bulldog Radio Network, where he's opened for the last 17 years from the Chocolate Mountains to the Sea of Cortez on Friday nights. He's been a moderator and a master of ceremonies for many, many civic events, for both the Chamber of Commerce in Calexico, for the foundation of San Diego State University, Imperial Valley Campus, and just as importantly, for the Calexico Unified School District in their many fundraising endeavors. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I give you our mayor of this beautiful city of Calexico, Mr. Juan Manuel Moreno.
Thank you very much, Mr. Carrillo. I hope I live up to those expectations. I'd like to, first of all, thank all the sponsors that made this event possible, and that would be Mr. and Mrs. Tony Pimentel, Mr. and Mrs. Carlton Hargrave, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Moreno, Mr. and Mrs. Frank Moreno, and of course our Chamber of Commerce, who do a lot to promote business and commerce in the city of Calexico. A big thank you also to the staff of the Chamber of Commerce under the direction of Hildy Carrillo Rivera. I'd like to also welcome some of my close friends and fellow Calexicans that are here tonight, and the rest of us who are also here. I'd like to thank our fellow city council, Mayor Pro Tem Castro, who is not here, Danny Romero, Bill Hodge, Martis Hurtado, and of course, Mr. Carrillo already welcomed Mr. Victor Manuel Perez. We're here to look at some of the noteworthy accomplishments that our excellent staff and department heads and employees, along with our city manager, Victor Carrillo, have done throughout this past tumultuous year. The credit goes to them for stepping up in the most urgent time of crisis and instability. The famous UCLA basketball coach, John Wooden, was quoted as saying, "Do not let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do." Our staff has sincerely adhered to that philosophy with grace and dignity. Under our circumstances, people were frustrated and fed up with all the obstacles, but I believe in the end they did pull through. And even though the clouds hung over our heads and there are more barriers to overcome, we made it happen and will continue to make it happen through teamwork and a unified front. In this State of the City address, I plan to share with you some of the challenges and accomplishments that we have attained, and also some of the plans for the future. The history of Calexico began as a tent camp of the Imperial Land Company and has grown into a large, thriving city on the U.S.-Mexico border. Calexico was founded in 1899 and incorporated in 1908. The Imperial Land Company converted bone-dry desert into a fertile setting for year-round agriculture that provides an economic base. Today, Calexico is set to hold the highest percentage of Mexican-American residents than any city in the United States of America, more than 90%. The modern city of Calexico is a far cry from what it was back in those early days. Hundreds of acres are now being devoted to industrial parks, and commercial and retail incentives are offered to encourage industrial development. It is also the families that have lived and still live here that make it a most unique place. These hard-working families of underdogs and immigrants have shaped Calexico into a destination. I am proud to be a native son and a resident and look to the bright future that awaits us all. Some of the challenges of 2010, the Easter Sunday earthquake, a 7.2 magnitude. How could we forget that? The economy collapsing, balancing the budget, the loss of sales tax and property tax revenue, impacts of our border city, the possible elimination of the redevelopment agency. I'd like to start with the departments and safety first. So we'll start with the police department. Our police department diligently works to achieve their yearly goals. Under the direction of Chief Jim Nujar, the force has handled these last 12 months with the tenacity of a bulldog and the heart of a lion. The department was awarded with a $1 million grant from FEMA for police services. Because of personnel shortages, many officers have been utilized to serve in the many areas of the department. The police department is in the process of developing strategic plans to identify more effective ways of performing police services. An accountability system is planned so that the department is working towards a single common goal, and that is the reduction of crime. A good thing is that the department is on the track to meet or exceed the revenue expectations that were projected in the budget. Stone Garden grant monies have also been utilized to offset costs incurred by the impact of the international border. The fire department. Chief Peter Mercado and his crew continue to weather the storm and man the ship with precision. There are quite a number of vacancies that need to be filled. Both firehouses on 5th Street and our West Station on Grant Street provide accurate response times even under difficult circumstances. The average response time for both stations is 4 minutes, 45 seconds. The paramedics are swift and very knowledgeable about what it entails of being a necessity to our community. Even though they are called for many inquiries, the most common is rescue and emergency medical services, ranging up to 81% of incidences. We look to fill 4 vacancies this year that have been budgeted for. In addition, we look for Measure H monies to help offset costs in both areas of public safety and hope that our oversight committee does their due diligence and provides the necessary leadership. Human resources and risk management. Rosalind Guerrero joined the Human Resources Department in the middle of 2010, and taking over a new department that had been without a director for over 12 months must have seemed like a daunting task. A streamline of services is broken down into 7 areas, and they are health and safety, labor relations, training development and employment appraisals, risk management, general liability, employee benefit programs, and administration. Many activities have helped our employees reach their maximum potential, and even though we were hit with the very sad news that we had to lay off over 30 employees, we tried many ways to bargain in good faith and help them ease through a most difficult transition. We look forward to this year to continue to bargain in good faith with all of our hardworking employees. Community services. The biggest challenge that this department was faced was the loss of part-time staff. Director Sandra Towler stated that there were 16 people at the library and 15 people at recreation who are no longer working. This devastated our ability to continue to work as usual. Our response to this challenge was to recruit volunteers. This means that one of our greatest accomplishments for the year was our ability to recruit enough volunteers and providing most of the services we previously provided with paid staff. We currently have about 30 to 35 volunteers, and this includes program workers such as SER and IVC work study that have helped us in all areas, including janitorial work at recreation, because we also lost our custodians. We were able to restore the open gym hours on weekends for all ages. We have dodgeball, basketball for youth, teens, and adults. We offer basketball clinics. Our other big accomplishment is that the staff has stepped up to the plate to take on assignments that were previously done by other staff. An example of this is our weekly story hour at the library, where we continue to promote literacy in all facets of library services. We lost our children's services coordinator, and the reference librarian is now holding the weekly program. We are very lucky to have such a dedicated staff to the service of our community. The accomplishments. We increased the hours at Carnegie Tech Center to be open 4 days per week instead of just 1 per week. There we provide free internet access with 20 laptop computers for public use and free wireless access. With the loss of the pool due to the earthquake, we came up with Family Fun Fridays at the park this past summer. I had the pleasure of attending several of them. We had water slides and fun family activities for 6 weeks during the summer. Kids and parents really enjoyed them. We continue to offer adult literacy for adults wishing to improve their English skills. This is another area we use volunteers. We received a grant in the amount of $27,000 from the California Library Literacy Services for adult literacy and family literacy programs. With the help of a grant from the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District in the amount of $25,000, we have increased the services we provide to senior citizens. We now offer aerobics, arts and crafts, nutrition classes, cooking classes, and health seminars. All these services are free to seniors. In addition to offering these programs at the senior center, we also visit the senior housing complexes to bring the classes to them. We recently reopened the Cultural Arts Center, right here where we're sitting. The point of pride is that the same staff is helping out in all areas. We are one department and make sure to help get things done. We'll soon have guitar lessons at the Cultural Arts Center. The list of special events has remained just as long as in previous years. We've had very successful Tiny Tot Olympics, Daddy-Daughter Dance. For the first time in 2010, we had a mother and son dance. These events are very popular and well attended. At recreation, we were able to work with instructors to bring down the price of classes we offer so that they are more affordable. We lowered the fee for ballet, flamenco, guitar, Zumba, yoga, etc., so that more families could participate. The Adult Book Discussion Group and Poetry Club continue to meet once a month. Plans for the upcoming year are to continue to offer a variety of programs in all areas to meet the recreational, educational, cultural, and artistic needs of our community, and to strive to reach all ages. We will continue to seek grants to augment the budget in each area, and will also continue to do fundraising so that the list of programs and events that we offer continues to be healthy. The arts commissioners, recreation commissioners, and library trustees are eager to continue to serve and help and make sure that we continue providing the services that improve the quality of life in our city. Finance. As is well known, Director Judy Hashem has had an uphill climb in the finance department, but is looking at making changes in the upcoming year. Finance accomplishments for 2010 include a request for proposal and award of a new contract with Rabobank for payroll and general account services, banking services. The City Council also adopted a general fund reserve policy, grant guidelines policy, and budget stabilization policy. Challenges in the past year have been trying to accommodate them, ever-increasing workload with fewer resources, both human and financial. Trying to change the business-as-usual mentality. Budgeting in a state of fiscal emergency climate. Immediate plans for the next 6 to 12 months are online payment processing, expand the use of pay stations, complete the accounting manual, draft additional policies, that is, compensated absences, equipment replacement reserve, secure and improve technology, hardware, and software in the IT office. With that, it is imperative that the City Council work closely with her and not clog the department with unwarranted requests that seem to take up too much valuable time. Utility services. The utility services consists of 3 major areas: the water treatment plant, the wastewater treatment plant, and the airport. Under the direction of Luis Estrada, utility services was hit hard by the earthquake but bounced back to a more efficient use of natural resources. 5 major projects in the water treatment plant were completed. The Eastside Water Reservoir was finished on March 12th at a cost of $6.2 million. The chlorination facilities were completed in November at a cost of $1.5 million. The repair to the 10 million daily gallon clarifier damaged by the earthquake was completed in July at a cost of $758,000. In the wastewater treatment plant, the design of a wastewater treatment plant expansion has been completed and will upgrade the capacity from 4.3 million daily gallons to 6.5. The primary and secondary clarifier have also been up and running since late August. The Calexico International Airport received $2.3 million from the Federal Aviation Administration for road improvements on Anza Road, for doubling it to 4 lanes. Hangars, soil, and asphalt have been modified and improved for a safer experience for those out-of-town travelers who land in Calexico. General services. A big part of general services is to provide safe routes within the city. Nick Finley, the director, and his staff have outlined many street overlay projects and completed them in 2010. The department totaled over $16.7 million to bring many of our streets up to par. Funding sources such as Measure D, the Safe Routes to School Act, the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, the Highway Safety Improvement Project, the Economic Development Administration Grant, and the Demo Omnibus Appropriation Act have been instrumental in making all of this a reality. The impact of Measure D funds on local transportation projects and how it has improved transportation in Calexico and throughout the Imperial County. Measure D is a 1/2 cent sales tax. Sales transportation gasoline tax was approved by Imperial County voters initially in 1989 for a 20-year period, and has generated more than $140 million for county and cities transportation improvement projects. The city of Calexico was a recipient of over $24 million in Measure D funds from 1990 to 2010. The city utilized its allocations to provide comprehensive improvements to our streets, such as maintained streets and repaired roads throughout Calexico, repaired and improved Andrade, Holdridge, Heber, Robinson, and Pierce Avenues, Fiesta and Portico Boulevards, Cloquet and Cole and Weekly roads. Conducted street resurfacing projects throughout the city, improved sidewalks, curbs, gutters, and added necessary traffic signals, expanded Estrada Boulevard, and widened Cole Road and Scaroni Road, improved portions of State Route 98 east of the railroad tracks, and to eastern city limits beyond Rivera Avenue. They added appropriate traffic signalization and railroad crossing safety equipment in intersections. Community development services, planning, building, and engineering. 2010 approved planning projects. 52 units of affordable housing approved and currently under construction along Meadow Drive. Development agreement between Halwood Calexico Investments and the city signed and finalized, allowing the casino development to move forward. 7-Eleven convenience store approved and constructed in cities in our downtown district. The Our Lady of Guadalupe Academy, 9,500 square foot addition approved and currently under construction. De Las Flores, 80-unit apartment complex approved and located west of Edie and north of 98. The Medical Management Group, long-term care, skilled nursing transition, and training center for veterans approved earlier this year. Large-scale planning projects currently being worked on are the 173-acre Grand Plaza commercial-themed shopping and retail center located along the border. The 157-acre Mega Park mixed-use development located at the southeast corner of Highway 111 and Jasper Road. Las Palmas Mobile Home Park, 324-acre housing development of over 600 individually owner units in a condominium setting. Plazo, 154-acre mixed-use development located in the northeast quadrant of the city consisting primarily of 180 single-family homes and 21-acre community park. Grand Mall Commercial Center along Cole Boulevard, completed 14,000 square feet. Redevelopment Agency, housing. A housing rehabilitation program, which is a CDBG program income, has completed many projects. 3 completed AC installations at $16,000. Project completed roofing and electrical pending. The De Anza Hotel renovation, date of completion January 31st at $201,099. The tenant-based rental assistance, home and home CDBG program income. There are 3 pending applications, 2 new lease agreements, and 28 ongoing tenant assistance. 24 tenants from the De Anza Hotel have been reestablished in their prospective units. The total funds is $47,441. Cal Home Earthquake Assistance Program, mobile home rehabilitation replacement. 3 families have signed their promissory notes for their mobile home replacements. Pre-construction meetings to take place this week. Mobile homes to be ordered for construction by the end of this week. It'll be a 3 to 6 week for construction and delivery. Cal Home First-Time Homebuyers Program. The grant is extended to June of 2011. The Home First-Time Homebuyers Program, that's also extended to 2011, June of 2011. 3 families signed loan documents to close escrow by the end of January. $32,000, $40,000, and $15,000. There are 17 new applications for review and the completion of documents and 25 pending applications. The Home Program, here at the De Anza, new construction, $2.1 million. Pending recipient of fully executed agreement clearing of conditions have also been addressed. Other projects, revisiting program income reuse plan to go before the council for approval January 18th. Revising the CDBG program guidelines to go before the council January 2011. Home first-time homebuyer guidelines to go before the council January 18th. These have all been completed. First-time homebuyer kickoff January 2011. Completed long-term monitoring for Rudy Hernandez, 901 6th Street, and completed closeout monitoring with State for Via de Este rehabilitation. Economic development. Storefront. Funded 5 applications for storefront rebate programs totaling $159,000. Accepted 11 storefront rebate applications. 9 applications are in the process, and 2 were declined. Revolving loan. Received 2 applications for revolving loan, and both applications were declined. The Business Improvement District. Coordinated RFP process for downtown steam cleaning. Project was awarded, and steam cleaning was carried out in the month of December. Coordinated and hosted events such as the Halloween Carnival and sidewalk sales in December. Community programs. Completed loan documents for the neighborhood house, requested $100,000 for construction loan. Miscellaneous, requested from Caltrans to allow the rerouting of our annual Christmas parade. The elimination of the RDA. This action proposed by Governor Brown in his annual state budget will abolish redevelopment agencies by July 1st, 2011, and also calls for urgency legislation to prohibit existing agencies from creating new contracts or obligations. There is a cause for great alarm and the need for immediate and ongoing political activism to prevent the passage of the governor's proposal to eliminate RDAs. If this type of legislation is allowed to be enacted, it will impact the city's ability to promote business activity, creation and retention of jobs, which is the economic engine to get us out of our financial problems. The RDA assists many of our partners financially and with technical assistance as well. And some of our partners include the City of Calexico, the Chamber of Commerce, the Neighborhood House, Catholic Charities, the Business Community Developers, the Calexico Unified School District, Calexico Business Improvement District, the Calexico Housing Authority, and the Heffernan Memorial Healthcare District. These are only a few of our partners that assist in the creation of jobs for our unemployed, shelters for our homeless, promotion of our community and business and protective services, healthcare services, and new and improved recreational facilities. These partnerships also allow us to address the critical need for affordable housing units for economically disadvantaged and senior citizens. These are just some of the services that will be negatively impacted and affected and or totally eliminated with the termination of the City of Calexico's RDA. Please, I urge you, I implore you, let our governor know that this is not acceptable. We want to be a part of the solution and not the solution. Overall accomplishments for the City of Calexico: the passing of Measure H, the ability to provide services despite economic setbacks and challenges on the general fund, capital improvements, the rebuilding of downtown, the assistance with displaced residents, assisted housing throughout the city, the fixing of the Calexico Cultural Arts Center where we sit tonight. Major plans for the future: Town Center Industrial Park, an EDA grant of $6 million is in the significant process, has been made in the last several months, and things are moving forward in the right direction pertaining to the EDA grant implementation at Town Center Portico. Work has commenced as of January 17th to signal the beginning of the infrastructure improvements as per the $6 million grant awarded for the project. The City Council approved rewarding construction contracts to begin infrastructure improvements to our core industrial area at the Town Center Portico industrial site in the northwestern part of the city along Cole Road. Infrastructure improvements include upgrading a lift station, upsizing wastewater and water lines, resurfacing and construction of roads with a signalization at 3 locations along Cole Road west of Highway 111. This represents an investment of $6 million to facilitate economic development and construction activity. Construction improvements are expected to be completed by May of 2011. Regarding the $450,000 Caltrans grant implementation, will soon be under construction on major intersection median at Cole Road and Scaroni intersection and Highway 111 on the west side, similar to what is located on the east side of Cole Road, with a raised median as you approach Carol's Restaurant or as you continue east to the Rockwood and Cole intersection. The infrastructure improvement is complementary to the implementation of the $6 million grant in that it will provide improved traffic congestion relief at the entrance of our industrial hub. Construction improvements are also expected to be completed by May of 2011. Ultimately, both grants were implemented would remove development and construction constraints to facilitate and entice economic development and the creation of much-needed jobs in Calexico and for its unemployed residents. The Manzanita Casino. Pertaining to the Manzanita Casino project, in 2009, the city approved a master development plan and an associated environmental impact report for the Calexico 111 commercial master plan along Scaroni and Jasper Roads, north of the All-American Canal. This project will facilitate the development of a 60-acre casino proposed to be operated by the Manzanita Band of Indians. Once the environmental impact statement is approved by the Bureau of Indian Affairs in Washington, D.C., this is considered to be the final hurdle in the long-awaited casino project in Calexico. The Grand Plaza. The city's fiscal health is tied to the Grand Plaza Outlets project. The Grand Plaza Outlets project, together with the airport project, will dramatically improve the city of Calexico in general and on the west side in particular. The project will generate millions of dollars worth of new investment, create several hundred construction and permanent jobs, and generate huge amounts of sales tax revenue that will benefit the city's general fund. As mentioned more than once, this project is vital to the city's stimulus plan for economic development, so needed in our current economic environment. In fact, the projects are projected to turn around the city's current dilemma with respect to its general fund. As such, we need to stay the course and continue to work closely together to get this project over the finish line. We also need to cooperate to the maximum degree possible to ensure that the state does not extinguish redevelopment of authority as we know it, as the governor has requested in his proposal state budget for 2011. Downtown Port of Entry expansion. The downtown Calexico Port of Entry processes the majority of travel between the populations of Imperial County, which is at 170,000, and the city of Mexicali, which is approximately 1 million. Today, during the down economy, this port is handling about 27,000 vehicles daily and another 22 to 30,000 pedestrians. Calexico's volume of traffic increases dramatically during the peak hours throughout the day, taxing our public safety, resources, streets, and long border wait times have a negative economic impact on our border crossers and local businesses, affecting sales tax revenue. As many of us are aware, the Calexico Downtown Port of Entry has reached its capacity for quite some time now, and that is why both governments in Mexico and the United States are proceeding with its expansion plans to the west, adjacent to the new river. On the U.S. side, our partners at GSA and CBP have been diligently working toward the completion of this project and are scheduled to begin construction of Phase 1 expansion in 2011-12. I have traveled to Washington, D.C., and most recently to Tucson, Arizona, for a Border Mayors Conference. And as previously discussed at the forum and other binational forums, the trade and travel between our two countries and our binational border region of Calexico, Mexicali, is critical to our respective economies. And for us in Calexico, the economic impacts are compounded given the current economic climate, as we in Calexico are experiencing a high unemployment rate and a significant number of our residents live below the poverty level. Because of the need to improve the inadequate infrastructure at our aging and oversubscribed international port of entry, and because the border crossing is federal responsibility, we have continued to cultivate a positive relationship with our federal representatives as U.S. Congressman Bob Filner and U.S. Senators Barbara Boxer and Dianne Feinstein to continue to support legislation and, more importantly, appropriations to fund the rapid modernization of the Calexico West Port of Entry. The investment in this project will enhance national security, improve air quality, and provide an important stimulus to the economy by enhancing international movement of goods and workers between our countries and two border sister cities. It has been the goal of the city of Calexico to highlight the need for mutual efforts and the need to continue our mutual efforts toward completion of the Calexico West and Mexicali ports of entry and related transportation improvements. We continue to strive in improving relations with our representatives in Washington, D.C., and with our representatives from the state, with Senator Juan Vargas from the 40th District, and the ever-present and sometimes ubiquitous Assemblyman in our 80th District, Manuel Perez. These are our voices in Sacramento and the nation's capital. We must keep ongoing communication with them so that they can hear our concerns, our needs. Trips are taken to both Sacramento and D.C. for advocate sessions with our representatives, and the work continues. The people of Calexico are resilient, and they will overcome many and practically all obstacles. Even though we've been around for hundreds of years, actually 100 years, we are still taking baby steps as we continue on this journey. I believe in no time that we will be making strides to achieve these goals and find that brighter tomorrow. Arriba, Calexico.
Thank you, Mayor John Moreno, for your State of the City address. It gives me great pleasure not only to reintroduce John Moreno, but his fellow colleagues on the City Council, Mayor Pro Tem Luis J. Castro, Council Member Bill Hodge, Council Member Daniel Romero, and Council Member Maritza Hurtado Barron. On behalf of the City of Calexico, we thank you for being in attendance. We also extend our appreciation and gratitude to the Calexico Chamber of Commerce that has provided refreshments and hors d'oeuvres. Please partake and have a good evening. Thank you.